Well, there's a few ways you can maximize the tips, but tips are super rare. For example, today is Sunday, November 9th. So I've been driving since 10. Now it's close to 2 o'clock. So I got one tip, and I know exactly why I got it. So basically, I was in northwest of Calgary, and a couple gets in, and then when I pick up, now I see where they're going, and it's 30 kilometers, 20 miles, and I see that the destination is Chinook Center, basically a big shopping center, but at Glenmore Trail, like down south, right? But we are in Northwest, and I said, so you guys going to Chinook Mall? And they said, yeah, well, we're just looking for a big shopping center, kill some time. And I said, well, much closer is a new mall called Cross-Iron Mills, which is the same as Chinook, except it's bigger, and they have a Bass Pro Shops. And the girl says, really? Is it as good as Chinook? I said, yeah, and it's way bigger, and it's 2 times the distance. They call me crazy, but I don't like that, area, Chinook Mall. You have to go a lot through lights and stuff like that, and I thought maybe I can help the guys. And I said, you can save probably 50% of your fee instead of going 30 kilometers. And I showed her on the Google Maps where it is. I said, Highway 2 and Deerfoot Trail. I said, look, it's a huge area. Lots of restaurants, lots of shopping. And they said, oh, we are from Saskatchewan, so actually we were just trying to find, the closest mall. I said, well, that's your bet. And so she found it, and I said, just you can go into your app and edit stops. And she did that, and right away I see a notification on my phone says a rider updated the destination. And so now we're going to the Cross-Iron Mills, and on the way, so now the tourists from Saskatchewan, they don't know Calgary, so they were asking me questions about what to do. I said, well, I give them a website that has ratings for all breweries and where they are in Calgary. I said, that's one thing to do. Another thing, I said, if you're into cycling, I said, we have bike pathways all over the city. You can go around. I see, you see that post, that's Rotary Trail. Basically, I was trying to be helpful. I enjoyed talking to people. So I gave them some info. And the ride, instead of 30 kilometers, the ride was 17 kilometers. And when I dropped them off, they gave me, I think the pay was about, like dollar per kilometer. I think it was like $17.50. And they gave me a $6 tip, which is like, I don't know, 30%. Of course, if I would have taken them to Chinook Mall, I would probably have made $30 at least, maybe a tip, but not guaranteed. But here, then I waited maybe 10 minutes at Cross-Iron Mills, and that place today on Sunday is crazy. There's no parking. There's like millions of people in there. And waited 10 minutes, got a lady and a son, and I brought them back to, to Calgary, like north. I'm still in Northwest, but it was about 10 kilometers. I think I made $11, no tip. But so yeah, why did they give me a tip? Because I was helpful. I acted kind of like a guide, right? And so that's one way to be helpful, to be polite. You want your car to be clean, without any bad smells, right? And you want to be dressed neatly. Like I have this, shirt, my black dress shirt, and I have some nice pants. I'm clean. I don't smell, So that's what people are looking for. People are looking for a clean car, polite driver, willing to help. And then, of course, usually when somebody has something to put in the trunk, I try to get off my butt and help them, just move some suitcases around. I noticed quite a few times, especially if these guys are going to the airport or from the airport, especially if they're Americans. If they're Americans, they will always tip you. if you help them with the luggage, you know. Or even like groceries. Like groceries, you know, when I pick up people at a big grocery store and they have a bunch of boxes with food, you know, I always try to help them. Especially, I remember there was like a young girl and she's like small and she has like 20 boxes. So of course I helped her. I carried them to her porch. I don't remember if she gave me a tip or not, but basically that's the main thing. Clean car, clean driver, polite, no bad smell inside the car, being helpful. And then another thing I do is I always try to guess what kind of music they like. And if I hear them, you know, they don't like my music, so I hear them start their phone and they start watching videos, usually on Instagram or Facebook, you know, or play their own music, then I just turn down my own music. So they don't want my music, I let them hear their music. But I try always to guess, you know, if it's like a young girl, I would put on something like Hits One, you know, like modern hits. If there's some guys going for a beer, I would probably do like some country music or something like that, you know, especially during the stampede in the summer. I would play country music all the time, even though I'm not a big fan. And then now, of course, it's November. Now there's already special channels on Sirius XM with holiday music. Believe it or not, November 9th, we're already listening to Christmas songs. And so I had this guy, I said, would you like to listen to some Christmas music? He started laughing. I said, yeah, it's November 9th, but it's already there. So I turned on this channel 15. Jimmy Fallon gets his channel like last 2 months of the year, where he sings himself and he plays his favorite tunes, you know, Christmas songs. And mostly it's modern pop stars that perform Christmas songs, you know. So that kind of thing. Like keep it easy, keep your passengers comfortable, you know, and sooner or later you'll get a tip. So hope this helps.